Dudes come and you move it in a certain way. If you choose not to check in, suffer the consequences. You figure like you got something that's bigger than what is there.
Yeah, because I mean, everybody be checking in. That's your favorite thing to do, check in with somebody that's gonna rob your stupid ass. Yo, you think that guy, the guy that you don't know in California got your back?
Looks like ScHoolboy Q just threw some serious shade at Big U, and this ain't your average drama. What he's revealing, way crazier than just some RICO charges. This whole thing runs deep, like real deep. Folks are whispering all over the place, and it seems like Big U might have totally miscalculated how far this mess actually goes. Word is, he's getting ready to represent himself in his own RICO case. Yeah, no lawyer. Why is he going solo in court? Big U wants full access to everything, not just what his lawyer feels like handing over. He's trying to dig through every document, every statement, every scrap of evidence that could turn this case upside down. He's not playing around. He wants control of every detail, every word that could help him walk free. Now, people are definitely raising their eyebrows over this move. Like, seriously, who decides to defend themselves when they're staring down 43 charges under a RICO case?
That's ever really been in LA? He checked in. Any real dude that's ever been in Atlanta, he checked in. If you moving and you getting money, you gonna check in because you need to know the right places to be and places not to be. That's a businessman. So I mean, but shit, some people feel like I am who I am.
That's wild. But here's the deal. According to reports, Big U's got a plan. He's doing this for a reason. The man's not trying to leave his fate in anyone else's hands. He wants to see everything connected to his case, even if it ain't directly linked to his charges. Why? Because he knows lawyers only pass along the bare minimum, and he ain't trying to miss anything that could save him. But what if the real game changers, the stuff that could flip this whole case or poke holes in the prosecution's playbook, are buried deep in the paperwork? Big U ain't leaving that to chance. He's ready to comb through every last line himself, not skipping a single page. It's like he's not even stressed about this case. Dude's moving like he still runs the block.
Thoughts on what happened to PNB?
I mean, it could happen to everybody. Just to be honest with you, I spoke on that. It's about greed. You know what I mean? Greed, envy, same thing I did. I mean, I did that.
Word on the street, he's acting like he's still got pull in the streets, like nothing's changed. And insiders say he's been allegedly tracking who's been running their mouth, trying to find out who's been feeding info to the feds. And let's be real, in that world, that's a major move. He wants names, details, anybody who's been testifying, talking slick, or leaking even the tiniest bit of info, stuff that might seem harmless at first, but could really shake things up. Like, picture someone getting caught with heat on them. They don't get hit with charges, but they say something about Big U while trying to slide out of trouble. That's the type of thing he's on the lookout for. He's scanning everything for little cracks. Any signs of betrayal? Because in his mind, if someone's out here chatting with the law, they're crossing the line. Now the whole hood's catching wind of what's going down, and people are starting to get real quiet, like silent. Folks are watching their backs, trying to figure out who's real and who might have folded under pressure. The streets are buzzing with whispers, and it's getting loud.
I know Big U how I know him. He know him another way. Big U's in a situation where he wants to know everybody that has cooperated or told on him.
And guess what? ScHoolboy Q has allegedly jumped in heavy and calling out Big U for supposedly pressuring the ones who talked, trying to shut them down, scare them, keep them from running their mouths again. It's looking more and more like Big U repping himself in court isn't just some wild move. It might be part of something bigger. Word is, he's thinking long game. He wants to get his hands on every piece of evidence, read through it all, break it down his way, and once he's got the full picture, maybe he'll bring in a lawyer later, but only when he's the one holding all the cards. This ain't no sloppy defense. It's chess, not checkers. If he digs through that paperwork and finds out that some of his closest ones flipped on him, that's a game changer. He's not just fighting charges, he's watching his inner circle real close. And if he finds the snakes, best believe it'll flip how he plays this whole case.
Sitting in here, it's gonna be years on my line. Then you going to get dudes who I don't even talk to. What they gonna say? You ruining people's lives.
And here's the wild part. Some are even saying Big U might be open to cooperating with the feds himself if it means shaving down that sentence or scoring a deal. The streets are cold right now. Even Whack 100's been loud, saying the game's shifting. Alliances are shaky, loyalty's getting tested, and Big U, he's right in the middle of it all. Big U's whole world, man, it looks like it's falling apart right in front of us. That empire of control he built, running the streets of LA like he was some kind of street king, it's shaken to the core now. For a long time, Big U was the guy in LA. If you were sliding through the hoods, you had to check in. No exceptions, no excuses. He had the city on lock. For years, people followed that rule. He enforced it heavy. But now, with all the chaos swirling around him, that whole check-in culture is starting to look real shady.
When I go to Chicago, I respect Chicago wholeheartedly. I check in. When I go to Atlanta, I check in. When I go places, I check in. And I don't think nobody...
What once seemed like protection is now being seen as a straight-up hustle. Folks are starting to question if Big U was really offering safety or just taxing people trying to stay out of trouble while moving through LA.
Yeah, because, I mean, everybody be checking in. That's your favorite thing to do, check in with somebody that's gonna rob your stupid ass. Yo, you think that guy, the guy that you don't know in California got your back?
And who could forget the time he called out Quando Rondo? He made it seem like Rondo messed up big time by not checking in. Like that was the reason things went sideways for him. But it didn't end there. Big U even went on to claim that PNB Rock got caught slipping because he didn't check in either.
Youngsters get out and then they have to have an experience before they realize I should have checked in. You know what I mean? Or I should have called, or I should have been moving a certain way.
Yeah, it might have sounded wild at first, but the streets were lit with talk after PNB Rock's tragic death. The whispers got loud real quick. Fans were heartbroken, but the rumors, they were on a whole other level. People started speculating that this wasn't just some random hit. There might have been a deeper play behind it all. Word on the street? PNB Rock's murder looked way more like a message than a robbery, a warning shot for not checking in with Big U. And if we're being real, the way that whole thing went down, suspicious doesn't even begin to describe it. He got hit in broad daylight, right there in front of everybody. And the streets started connecting the dots fast. Was it about money, or was someone sending a loud message? Then came the heavy whispers that Big U might have known more than he was saying. One user even dropped a post saying, "Check in AKA let me know you here so I can set you up to get robbed." Another went all in, saying Big U made the check-in thing seem like safety, but could be pulling the strings behind every robbery in LA. And it didn't help that Big U's reaction after the murder felt off. He spoke about it in interviews, but people noticed there was no emotion, no real sorrow. His tone was cold, distant, almost like he wasn't even shocked.
So they get out and they might be under your banner, but then they not respecting the banner. They ain't calling you. They got your number, they know who you is, but they feel like they bigger than the pro.
For someone who painted himself as the protector of the city, that ice-cold response hit different. No emotion, no sympathy, just straight vibes. And that silence, it said everything. The way Big U talked about PNB Rock's murder with zero visible sorrow had folks raising all kinds of red flags. Was he really that disconnected? Or was there something deeper going on behind the scenes? People started asking real questions. Did he know more than he let on? Then things hit hard. The arrest, the indictment, the RICO charges. Big U's empire started crumbling fast and he couldn't outrun it. While all of that was blowing up, ScHoolboy Q came out swinging. He didn't hold back. Straight up called out the whole check-in culture that Big U helped build. And the timing, brutal. Q dropped the hammer right as Big U was deep in his own legal storm. Q said what a lot of people had already been thinking, that the whole check-in for safety thing was just a slick way to make money off artists and outsiders trying to move through LA without getting caught up. It wasn't about protection, it was about profit. And Q wasn't alone in this. As Big U's legal drama hit the spotlight, more voices started speaking up. Folks began agreeing with Q. And suddenly, the check-in system didn't seem like street protocol anymore. It started to look like a full-blown hustle dressed up as protection. Q's call out forced people to take a hard look at everything they'd been told. The whole culture around checking in, now it's under the microscope, and the streets are starting to see through the smoke. Was it ever really about safety, or was it just a slick way to cash in on the fear that comes with moving through LA's wild streets?
Everything they would give to his attorney, his attorney may not pay attention to a certain name, right? Or because it may not really be relevant to the charges they fighting, right? He might have got pulled over on the traffic stop and gave me a name. The police didn't do nothing with it, but still it's telling.
That's the question on everybody's mind now. And the timing of ScHoolboy Q's comments, man, it couldn't have hit harder. While Big U was scrambling with his legal mess, Q basically pulled the curtain back, calling out a whole system built on fear, control, and intimidation. It was like Q cracked open the whole blueprint, and now people are finally starting to see what might have really been going on. If Q could see through it, how many others are opening their eyes now? Big U ain't just facing RICO charges anymore. He's also battling serious accusations of manipulation and control, all while drowning in online backlash and street suspicion. And Q's words, they hit deep. He didn't just come for Big U. He came for the entire culture Big U helped build. He made folks really sit back and ask, was all that checking stuff just a way for Big U to keep his grip on the city, even if it meant playing dirty behind the scenes? The check-in game that used to feel like a safety net, now it's looking a lot more like a hustle wrapped in street codes. And as Big U tries to figure out how to move next, one thing's for sure, everybody's watching. And they're not just watching him, they're watching the system he created. Now with his trial heating up, Big U is switching gears, going full lone wolf and representing himself in court. No lawyers in his ear, no filters. He's digging into every single document, every file, every hidden detail, even the stuff that don't directly tie to the charges. Why? Because he's hunting for leverage. Anything he can use to cut a deal, maybe even slide into a lighter sentence or a strategic plea. He's betting everything on what he can find between those lines. Big U's been moving like a man on a mission, but behind that courtroom confidence, folks are saying he's feeling the heat. With the trial creeping closer and more eyes locked in, everything he built is hanging by a thread. Insiders are whispering that there's tension within his old circle too. Some of the same people who used to ride for him heavy are now keeping their distance or staying quiet altogether. It's like the loyalty he once had on lock is starting to crack, and that silence is screaming louder than words. Some say a few names close to Big U have already been cooperating behind closed doors. And if that's true, the fallout could be massive. Meanwhile, Big U is still digging, still flipping through files like he's chasing gold. He's convinced the answer, the key to flipping this case, is somewhere in that mountain of paperwork.
You're in a situation where Big U is going to get all the documents, be able to see everybody that's cooperating against him.
But why couldn't he do that through his attorney?
You're not, because the attorney ain't going to give you everything.
Why not?
He's going to give you what y'all dealing with.
But they work for you.
But what happens if he doesn't find it? What if the same control he used to have in the streets can't save him in court? And the streets, they're watching every move, every word, every delay in the case. Social media has been going crazy, breaking down court docs, timestamps, witness lists, like it's a full-blown crime series. And Big U, once the man behind the curtain, is now the one under the spotlight. There's even quiet talk that if things get worse, Big U might pull the ultimate twist, turning state's witness himself. Yeah, some folks believe he could cut a deal if it means keeping himself out of a long sentence. After all the years of playing gatekeeper, imagine Big U flipping sides. It's all about control now. Big U wants every piece of this case in his hands. He ain't trying to let anything slip past him. But the streets, they're buzzing like crazy over this whole self-representation move. And online, man, it's a wildfire. One person even posted, Big U's gonna tell on everybody. Keep that same energy. That says it all. People are divided. Some think he's playing smart, others think he's playing with fire. But either way, Big U ain't backing down. He's still in the mix, still trying to flip the narrative. But here's the thing, the streets are watching every single move. And if you think you've got this story figured out, you might need to think twice. So what's it gonna be? Genius move or total crash out? Will this strategy work in his favor, or is he digging himself even deeper into the mess? Let me know what you think in the comments. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and make sure you ring the bell so you don't miss the next wild update. This story is far from over. See you on the next one.